Okay, so the idea, first of all, is that it is talking about religion and science, their conflict, and how humanity is suffering, right? So our introduction should also be addressing it, something like that, right?
Okay, the importance should also be given to the science also in the
Correct. The
introduction.
importance as well as the conflict between their relation between the two. How that conflict is unwarranted. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, chalo, next. Who will read? Mohit.
I'm Rimi.
Yes, Remain. Okay.
I wrote something like Karl Marx से introduction किया था sir. He said that
Religion is the opium.
opium of masses.
Okay.
और मैं positive sense में in ancient
Answer me
times
one thing. Is
turmeric.
socialism also not the opium of masses?
Yes.
Marx says from each according to. I'm just playing devil's advocate with you. Okay. From each according to his work.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So I'm just quoting something as a counter thing to you. Is not socialism the opium of the world? He says religion is the opium, right? That is your idea.
Yes, sir. Religion is the opium of masses.
Okay.
And then I use.
But this statement, okay, just let me conclude. Tell this to everyone. From each according to his work to each according to his need. So you are getting according to your need and not according to your work. Is this not opium? I mean, tell me logically. Like, you'll not be given the reward according to your work. Your reward will be according to your need. I think there can be no better opioid than this. Anyways, that is why socialism, where socialism exists, democracy goes out of the picture. Okay. I'm just being critical of Marx because he talked about dictatorship of proletariat, right? Dictatorship of the workers, right, Ramin?
Yes, sir.
But actually it became dictatorship of the state in practice. Once the state came, the state never withered away as Marx expected. Anyways, let's come back.
Hello guys, before we start with the discussion, we just want to inform you that we have launched a very special and unique type of program which is called Excel Mains through the previous year's questions. In this program, we are going to cover the entire syllabus of GS paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. The philosophy behind this program is we are going to cover the syllabus not randomly but just by using or referring the previous year's questions themes, and the themes are extracted from the last 40 years of previous year's questions. There will be a live discussion, there will be a answer writing with the mentors, and the second program is the intense answer writing program which is called Samachar Wani Plus, in which there will be a weekly classes on 10 topics which are extremely important from the UPSC mains and prelims point of view. There will be an answer writing, there will be a questions given after each and every class based on those 10 topics. So even if you are a beginner, this is a good opportunity for you to begin with the answer writing. For any further queries or if you wish to talk with a mentor, if you have any doubts, please drop us a message on the number given below. Thank you.
Tell me. So you said Karl Marx says religion is the opium of the world. How are you linking it with our essay?
I just use his name so that I could criticize it in one way. And in another positive sense, I use the turmeric. It's in religion at the same time practice of Hindu culture. At the same time, scientifically, it is good for health. And tulsi plant we worship.
What is good for health?
What's a turmeric?
Turmeric is good for health. Okay.
Yes, it's used in Hindu culture for prayer.
Okay.
And
But trying to bring out that some practices that we do in our religion are also scientific. That's the idea that you want to give.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
yes, we will discuss this issue today. That in India, religion and science were never in conflict. There was never a case where a man of science was assassinated, or he was butchered, or he was put into the fire for offending religion. If you see all the ancient rishis, they were all mathematicians, they were all scientists, right? In India, we will see that religion and science are not so much in conflict, at least in the ancient times. Maybe in modern times, we can make this case, because we have this case of rationalists like Dabolkar. He was murdered. He's a rationalist of which state, Pallavi?
Maharashtra.
Dabholkar, Maharashtra.
I'm not audible.
Dabholkar, na?
Not audible.
Why
One
am I
second.
not audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Dabholkar from Maharashtra.
Okay. So now who else? Okay, I understood your point. I have not got so far a balanced introduction.
Because I've written something, can I share? मैंने वैसे
Yes.
बहुत ऐसे briefly सा लिखा है, so I'll just
Sure,
share the
sure.
idea. So started like during the early Middle Ages in the Roman Empire, religion was the only constitution for the people. People would go to church and follow the ideologies of religion. Europe at that time was suffering from disease, poverty, problem of education, and lack of healthcare and unemployment, and problem of unemployment. Then came the period of humanism, which encouraged Europeans to question the role of Roman Catholic Church during Renaissance. During the period of Renaissance, where people started questioning faith, and instead developed logic. Empirical studies and scientific experiments started taking place. Architecture, art, and science were closely interlinked during this time. Scientific discoveries led to major shifts in thinking of people, and it was during this time when humanity discovered that it is the sun and not the earth which was the center of the solar system.
That is known as Copernican revolution.
I've written this much only.
Yes. Okay. Understood your point. So this is known as Copernican revolution. Yes, 2 more volunteers and then I will discuss, because otherwise it will take time.
Basically, I have written a few broad points. Hello,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hi. So I started off with a quote by Galileo that mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe. I don't remember the exact quote.
Tell me the quote. What does it say?
Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe.
Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe. Okay.
I don't know if it's the correct quote or not, but I just, it came to my mind because I had read it somewhere, so I wrote it. After that, I tried to maintain a balance between religion and science. So my other point was that there is convergence and divergence between religions and science since ancient times.
Okay.
And whenever there is convergence, people have benefited always, and human welfare has been the most priority. And the example that I gave in that was, hygiene and cleanliness. So both religion and science, they both advocate hygiene and cleanliness. In divergence part, I gave an example of blind extremism of religion, is leading to genocides, war crimes, terrorism. And I also gave the example of vaccine hesitancy, which some religious groups are advocating currently.
Yes, good example.
Because of religion.
You can say religion, you can also say lack of education. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, understood. I like your. If you could have explained this better, see, that is the idea that is being accepted as the model idea today. That scientists say that both of them are working in different domains. One is talking about facts, the other is talking about values. Religion is in the sphere of facts. Sorry, religion is in the sphere of values. Science is in the sphere of facts. We will deal with this. Correct?
Right.
Yes. Anybody else?
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Because there is disturbance from somebody. I think that Gautam has television running at the back end.
Sir, आप mute हो if you are saying something.
Yes, Rishabh, you want to read?
मैं पढ़ूं?
मैंने कर दिया सर, डॉक्टर राजीव बोल रहे थे।
Yes, Dr. Rajiv.
यस सर, मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ सर। मैंने स्टार्ट किया है, रिलीजन इज बेस्ड ऑन फेथ एंड साइंस इज बेस्ड ऑन फैक्ट. So actually it is conflict of faith and fact. In science everything is first proved, then people believe, and when people doesn't know answer of anything, then he say it is a of God.
Okay.
One's belief can be superstition for another. Socrates, probably Socrates was the first person who developed doctrine of questioning. He said, an unexamined life is not worth living.
Okay. So Socrates' idea basically was, this is called the dialectic method. So rather than giving you answers, he would expect you to find out the answer. Yes, he says an unexamined life is not worth living. And he died also because of this. You know the story between Socrates and Plato, no? What happened with both of them? Socrates was in exile, and he was later executed by the state for his rational thoughts. But before that, Socrates was asked by his followers, we can take you out of the prison. But Socrates refused. He was a man of principles. Socrates said that injustice is not the answer to injustice. You can quote him. So he refused to leave the jail, and later he was killed. Same thing happened with Plato also, his disciple. And then Plato skipped from the jail. He said, I won't let truth be heard twice. So you see, these people, they will justify. Okay, once they are in such positions, they will justify. Anyways, okay, I got your idea that there is a gray area between science and religion. But once science does not answer, then we say that it is an act of God, right, Dr. Rajiv?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have written it from the point of view of humanity.
Yes.
I started my intro with emphasis on humanity with this quote, with all its rationalism and tall talk.
Slightly louder, please.
I've started with this quote, with all its rationalism and tall talk, humanity still clings to the books. And I've said that this present quote highlights the debate, unending debate between religion and science. Humanity.
Can you tell me the quote again? With all
its rationalism and
with all its rationalism
and tall talk.
And tall talks. Okay.
Humanity still clings to the books. I think it was given by Vivekananda.
Humanity still clings to the books. By book, you mean book of science or book of religion?
Books as in general, all academics.
Okay. So humanity clings to books.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what exactly it's trying to say is that humanity is one of the highest values, but nowadays or from time immemorial, it has been spoken only, it's a spoken verbose, not exactly in practice. And that reflects in religion and science as one of the qualities.
Okay. So what I will recommend is, when you are writing this, write this book as book of science and book of religion. Both are making humanity suffer, because there is no book of value or book of humanity. Okay. So then that will be a very perfect start. Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, someone is saying to let him in.
There is nobody in the waiting room here. Who is saying?
I don't know, sir. One message has been dropped on WhatsApp.
There is nobody in the waiting room.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes. Continue, Harine.
So I've written humans most important value is considered as humanity, because it ignites a sense of purpose to the very existence of humans, and all other things are just arrangements to ease down the purpose. But unfortunately, things have become the goalpost and humanity has taken a backseat. The consequences, humanity either makes it work for its well-being or makes it work against its well-being,
and the present of context of religion and science fits very well into this context. And then I start with like how science and religion have inculcated into our system, like how religion is serving the humanity, then how science is serving the humanity, then contrasting it with how they are working against the humanity. Both of them are working against the humanity, and I've elaborated it with more examples. And then in the end, I've taken a balanced stand that there has to be a balance, which is evident even in our constitution. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening.
Hello?
Yes, you are audible to me. Is she audible to everyone?
Yeah.
So in the conclusion, I've made a point that these arrangements have been made by humans for their well-being. As this is a never-ending debate, a balance should be strived in order to serve it harmoniously for humanities. That is what this is the structure I've made for
Understood. I like your starting. If only you had slightly tweaked it, by tweaking the idea of books to book of religion and book of science. So it would have been a perfect start.
Should I try?
Yes. Sure. Who is I?
Sakshi.
Yes, Sakshi, quickly.
Yes, I've started. The road to science and religion are opposite, but we should develop a tendency to walk on it together. Something like this.
Okay.
Science
I will give this exactly in conclusion. I will say that science and humanity both are sitting in a boat.
Yes.
They are both sitting in one boat. The person of religion or a religious person, he is trying to look inward for answers. And a man of science, where is he looking for answers?
Outside, external.
Yes, looks outward for answers. So science and religion both are complementary. And the complementarity is humanitarianism, not only humanism. That means we are not only bothered about human beings as a race, we are bothered about human beings plus all other beings. So yes, this is what I would have given in the conclusion. I like your thought.
Okay. And then I've written science and religion both are complex social and cultural endeavors, and they vary across cultures and society. So scientists and philosophers, historically scientists and philosophers have seen religion and science both from the viewpoint of conflict and also interdependence. And from Hinduism point of view, I don't know I should have written this or not, but I'll say.
All religions.
Yeah, pardon?
If you write about one religion, you have to write about all religions.
Acha, okay. So from Hinduism, Hindu philosophy and scientific, Hindu philosophy and scientific theory of evolution. So I've tried to build a similarity between these two. The incarnation of Lord Vishnu can be seen identical to the scientific explanation of theory of evolution of man and animal. I don't know how much it is right or wrong.
I will give this example today that there are a lot of scientists, like Darwin was also a scientist and he was a devout Christian.
Yes.
But still he gave the theory of evolution. That shows that both of them are complementary. It's okay. But try that if you write about one religion, you have to write the good parts of all the religions. Okay.
Okay. And like from Indian Constitution point of view, I have written that Indian Constitution gives importance to both by giving right to freedom of religion as well as individual duty to have scientific temper. So Constitution makers had a vision of keeping a balance between both science and religion.
Understood. So one of them is our fundamental duty also, right?
Yes.
Both of them are fundamental duties. First, you don't have to bring enmity or hatred between groups, and secondly, you should have scientific temper. Okay. So, okay, how would have I started this essay? Science for all its rationality. Now, science is rational, right? So, science for all its rationality, benefit of religion. Without religion, this has created guided missiles, but misguided men.
Yes, I've written this also.
Okay, good. Whereas religion for all its divinity, or you can write for all its majesty, benefit of the modesty of science. What is the modesty of science? Science is always talks about probable truth and not absolute truth. You see, first there was a theory of atom given by Rutherford, then by Niels Bohr. Then we found out instead of atoms, today Big Bang says there are quarks. So science has this modesty that we may be wrong. Is religion modest? Do the people of religion say that they can be wrong? What is written in the book is the last word, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. And from this modesty of science, humanity suffers. Like
Correct.
earlier there was one theory, and after that there is again one theory.
Correct. So religion for all its divinity, benefit of the modesty of science has created God men. Instead of God, we have created God men. And humanity pays the price in both. So we know what is who's on. Please mute. Yes. So instead of God, we have created God men, right? You all know the famous God men of India. Ram Rahim, right? So this is what I have started my essay with. Now let's discuss science and religion in detail, because most of you are either criticizing religion, only some of you knew how to make a balance. So we will see what is the thing in this. Okay. Now you tell me how science and religion are in conflict first. Science and religion conflict में कैसे हैं?
Science is basically linked with material. Religion is linked with spirituality.
Okay, good. So science.
Religion is based on faith.
Yes, correct. I will come to that one by one. So science talks about the natural. Religion talks about the supernatural. Yes. Science is based on facts, and instead of facts, write demonstrative facts. Facts that you can demonstrate. And religion is based on, yes, somebody was saying faith. What else? See, science is based on
Experiments.
Experiments, and experiments are based on principle of falsifiability. Falsifiability. While religion claims absolute truth. Science says there can be no such thing as absolute truth.
Yes.
So that is another difference. Again, science talks about the sensible. By sensible mean which is present to our senses, and religion talks about
Intuitions.
Religion talks about suprasensible. Can you see God, Abhishek?
No, sir.
I see it when I see the salary credit message. Okay, so religion talks about the suprasensible or entities which are not present in space and time. So this is the basic conflict in principle. Now in application, we will see that how they are being in conflict. But in principle, this is the basic conflict. And you tell me, today, is science winning the war over religion or religion is winning the war over science? Yes, Mohit. Who seems to be winning this battle?
I would say religion is waging a war over science today.
No, not waging. I'm saying who is winning.
Science.
Why do you think science is winning this war right now? Or what is so good about science that a lot of people are now becoming men and women of science?
Tangibility.
Rationality.
Rationality. Okay, so first is the method of science. See, both science and religion, they try to claim or they try to predict the future.
Science is logical.
Yes, both of them try to predict the future. Religion does not tell you how. Okay, science tells you how. So the method of science is you have data, you gather some data, you develop a hypothesis based on your data. You say that okay, you in China it was found that people are coming with flu symptoms. If the hypothesis was some new virus pandemic can happen. Based on this hypothesis experiment, we checked these people who were coming. We took out we took out a sample, their blood sample or their swabs, etc. We did experiment. Then we gave a theory that this may be from COVID-19 family. It is a family similar to SARS, etc. Then finally law. A theory will become a law. This is the method of science, and this is based on principle of falsifiability. Anywhere you find new data, this law and this theory, they will be very willing to change it, right? But is religion modest to this?
Is it that we want to convey ki for everything that we do, we have a proof for it in science?
I will dictate it to you. Okay.
Achha.
See, both science and religion, they try to maximize power over nature. Both science and religion, they will try to maximize power over nature. It is the control and unerring, the control and unerring prediction of science. It is the control and unerring prediction of the future by science. That has made science acceptable to the civilized world. So both of them are trying to control, regulate, or predict the future. Science is also saying कि global warming होगा, ये होगा, इतने degree से, if you don't do this 2-degree rise in temperature will happen, then this will happen, that will happen. Religion is also saying there will be a day of judgment, or there will be an afterlife. In that afterlife, you will suffer like this, or you will be reborn again. Both are saying this, but science, for its control and unerring prediction, that is why it has been accepted by the civilized world. Religion, on the other hand, has been reduced to what man does in his solitude. This is a quote by Whitehead. He is a commentator on religion, Whitehead. Religion, on the other hand, has been reduced to what man does in his solitude. Now he gives a very interesting line, but I will not ask you to write this in exam. I am just telling you. He says, the great religious conceptions, all the great religions of the world, are scenes of solitariness. Prometheus chained to the rock. Prometheus chained to the rock. Muhammad brooding in the desert. Buddha meditating under a tree. And the solitary man on the cross. So his idea was that religion has now been reduced to what man does in his solitude. So that is the first step why science is winning the war. Now the second thing. Now in this science wala essay, I am making an exception that I am teaching this topic because there is no material available in the market for this. Otherwise, I would have given broad things only. What is the most important thing? Science is supported by whom today? Who is the funder of science? Science is supported by state. So its resources are now funded by the state. While what is religion today? Is it true or not? Harine? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
People, when they start writing, they become suddenly so quiet that I get scared that I am not audible. So religion is charitable today. If you want to do some religious activities, you will have to ask charity to people. But if you want to do a scientific endeavor, government will do some fund, Atal Innovation Mission or hackathon, right? So who will be winning this battle when you have the resources of a state?
Science.
Yes.
Also, globalization is there. So,
Yeah, globalization, correct.
And सर जब पैंडेमिक हुआ था तो
we will come to this. This is the third point.
Okay, sir.
See, science has given us conquest over nature and many diseases. It has given us conquest over our fears. What were our biggest fears? First we were even scared of lightning in the sky. If you see the ancient gods in the Aryans, in the early Vedic period, they had what kind of gods? Sun god, rain god, wind god, right? Which is the most mentioned god in the early Vedic period? It is a question of your GS1 prelims. Which god has been mentioned the most number of times in the early Vedic period? I think Indra, no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So religion has given us, science has given us conquest over fears, like disease, like droughts. You see, the British, they were so cunning. In the 1943 famine, some 20 million some people died in India. This is a bigger tragedy than Holocaust. In the Holocaust, only 6 million Jews died. 6 million means 60 lakhs. And you see, they have such a good narrative that today also they make the world as well as those who did sorry for it. Here in 1943, 20 million people died in one famine. And Britain said, act of God. Whereas what was the real case here? Why was drought here in 1943?
We had war. they were
Yes,
dependent
diversion of
on
resources. India's resources were being diverted by Britain for World War II. So earlier drought was explained as an act of God. So now man, he has made a conquest over his fears like disease, like droughts, floods. Most recent, what is the cure for COVID?
Vaccines.
Vaccines. When the temples were shut, God was working in the hospitals, right?
Yes, sir. And we always talk about the scientific data when to
Correct.
counter
We
this
talk about the
pandemic.
scientific data, but we will also criticize this later. Okay, if human beings, because of the instruments of science, are not so greedy, we will not be doing fishing and eating exotic animal species which can carry this virus to human beings. Okay, so in the later part of the essay, we will criticize science also. It has given us such instruments that we are no longer human beings.
Yes, sir. Designer baby.
So you can write, when temple churches were shut, God was performing duty in hospitals. So the fourth point, what I was trying to say in the introduction when somebody said something, science has healthy skepticism. What is the meaning of skepticism, Monica? What is the meaning of skepticism?
Being doubtful,
Yes,
skeptical.
being doubtful. Now, if you imagine, now I don't want to offend any religion, okay? Because I am also a man of religion. But if some book says that God created the world in 6 days, and on the third day, he says, you should write in capitals, he says, let there be light. Now, if God on the third day said, let there be light, how was day happening? Because day will happen when there is light. Day and night will happen with the concept of light, no? How was there 2 days before this one? And I don't want to tell the joke because some people will be offended. Like even in my religion, people say that somebody flew with a mountain. Now, how can somebody do that? Okay. How can someone of a human form, they can carry a mountain? Okay. Or how can somebody go to heaven on a winged horse? At least we as a society should be allowed to ask these questions. That is healthy skepticism. Okay. The idea that I do not know, that religion does not teach us. Religion gives ready-made answers for everybody, for everything. So if religion is saying God created world in 6 days, do I need to now find the reasons? Why was it created in 6 days? What happened on the 6 days? No, I know that this has already been told to me, right? Now there must be an explanation. A man of theology may explain this. I don't know the theology behind this.
सर इसके काउंटर में वो हम साइंस के फेवर में वो दे सकते हैं ना, बिग बैंग
करेक्ट.
थ्योरी का
साइंस
एग्जांपल.
आल्सो डज नॉट नो. बिग बैंग भी जो है, बिग बैंग ने प्रेडिक्ट कर दिया है 10 to the power minus 13 सेकंड to 10 to the power minus 43 सेकंड. यानी मान लो ये टाइम टी पे बिग बैंग जब हुआ था, तो उससे 10 to the power minus 13 सेकंड to 10 to the power minus 43 सेकंड, इसके बीच में हमको पता है कि क्या हुआ था, और इसके बाद तो बहुत अच्छे से पता है कि क्या हुआ था. बट वी डोंट नो व्हाट बिफोर दिस टी. Neither Big Bang knows this, neither Big Bang knows what happened between T and T minus 13. This also science so far has not answered. That is true, Rishabh, correct. Now the next point. Science is emotionally neutral. Hear what Sakshi was saying. A scientific truth is established irrespective of the beliefs and emotions of the scientist. For example, Charles Darwin. He was a devout Christian. But what did he give? What did Charles Darwin give?
Theory of evolution.
Yes. And does God have any role to play in the theory of evolution given by Charles Darwin?
No.
No God's role. He has given theory of survival of the fittest, natural selection. Theory of natural selection. What else? Sixth point is a scientist prefers a simpler solution than a complex one. This is known as Occam's razor. A scientist always prefers, अगर कोई problem है, so scientist will always prefer a simpler solution than a complex one. Like for example, if Sakshi's internet is lagging today, scientist will say your internet speed is bad, change your internet provider. And a man of religion will say your karma is not good today. Okay. What did you do? Correct your karma and then you will be able to attend the class. Okay. So now that this karma thing will become very complex, then now she will start thinking, when did I do something that to my internet or something like that? She'll start thinking. So a scientist always prefers a simpler solution than a complex one. Therefore, a scientist...
Change internet provider. I will do that.
Therefore, scientists' laws are neat and they have aesthetic value. And scientists are artists also, that is why. All of you must have seen at least one meme on Instagram where Ramanujan or probably CV Raman, उनकी handwriting board पे दिखाई गई है कि कितने साफ से लिखा उन्होंने, है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So their experiment, when a beautiful thing is experimented in front of your eyes and something new is visible to you, that has an aesthetic value also. And religion can never demonstrate this. Religion with all its majesty, it can never prove to you that tomorrow you will die. Okay. But I pray to God and I hope that all of us attend all the classes. Okay.
Only classes.
But now we've seen why science is winning the war. But does science have issues? We will come to the issues of religion separately and then we will try to bring them in our essay. I'm just giving you fodder material for any essay ever written on science and religion. But tell me the issues of science. One by one. Yes, remain issues of science. Remain can't speak. Pallavi, issues of science.
Maybe poorly communicated and difficult to understand for the common minds.
Come again.
Poorly communicated and difficult to understand for the common minds.
Science is poorly okay.
There will be
But
exceptions.
your
always.
grandmother knew more science than you and me, right?
We are talking about modern science, no?
Acha, modern science. No, I'm talking about issues of science itself.
Yes, but in modern times, it is for people. It is difficult to understand what concepts are, what is physics, what is chemistry, what is biology, what is biotechnology. So, in that sense, I'm saying.
Okay.
Also,
Pallavi
can
has, yes.
can
Yes, sir.
can we say that science does not believe in other human capabilities like intuition?
Correct. Yes, correct. Definitely. Science does not give importance to values and morality, right? When it is emotionally neutral, is it not morally neutral? Isn't science morally neutral? Agar morally neutral nahi hota, तो we would have not made precision guided missiles, right? That missile would have questioned us. Why do you want to kill? That atom bomb that fell in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, did it question anybody that why are you using me for this? So that is the issue of science, that it is morally neutral. What else?
Sir.
Physical
Hello.
inactivity.
Physical inactivity because of science. Okay. We are attending Zoom classes instead of a regular classroom. But it is protecting us. No? Science is protecting us from COVID. Digital education, Abhishek. See, science has...
Social incapability.
Yes.
Incompatibility, sorry, social incompatibility and anxiety.
Okay.
It's highly probable.
What is highly probable?
Sir, it lacks ethicality.
Yes, it does lack ethicality, yes. So science has conquered nature, but not the inner core of man. Has science transformed our character, our morality, our values?
No.
The more richer we become, the problem seems to be becoming more complex, right? Yes or no? Otherwise, these Bollywood stars, they have everything in the, they wear, I don't know, I don't even know the name of the brands. They wear those brands. They have the fittest bodies probably that we will be ever achieving in our probably next 7 lives. They eat the best food available on planet Earth. Are they happy? Now we have Bollywood, we have cinema, we have everything, but has their inner transformation happened?
No.
That is not the domain of science only. Science is not bothered about doing this thing. Okay. Here you can quote Oppenheimer. Who is Oppenheimer?
Atomic bomb.
Yes, father of atom bomb. So when he saw the experiment, when he saw that experiment, he has said that now I have become death. So we can talk about on mute, unmute. So World War I, World War II, all the instruments of modern science, industry, bookkeeping, development in weapons, all of this was used to kill humanity, known as Holocaust. So all the development of Western science, this was used in World War I and World War II against humanity. What is the fifth point?
The people will get a kind of mindset like environmental possibilism. They don't believe in environment, and they
Correct.
more
Correct.
corrupt.
You mean like Donald Trump, that global warming is a myth. There is something known as scienticism. Science has itself become a religion.
Scientology also exists, na?
Correct.
Tom
You can
Cruise
talk.
practice करता है. Yeah.
Yes, same thing, same thing. Science has itself become a religion. It has now given up its own modesty of falsifiability. People of science will say this is the knowledge. They will mock people of religion, people of other knowledge and skills. They will say science is saying this. Now your grandmother is an idiot. How can she claim like that? Just because you don't have an answer and you say, there's a famous quote by a spiritual guru. He says, I do not know, to claim that I do not know cannot exist. This is the crown of ignorance. What you do not know cannot exist. This is the crown of ignorance. So that is scienticism. Science has itself become a religion. What else?
Science doesn't have the scope or methods to fit in all knowledge.
Science does not have the method and
scope to fit in all knowledge.
Correct. It can give us only knowledge of a particular domain. Yeah. So
socially anarch.
Correct. So 6th point, Yuval Noah Harari. He has written a famous book. Sapiens. In this book, he says, this is the age of 3 accelerations. What are the 3 accelerations? Pallavi?
Sorry, I don't remember.
Okay. Globalization, climate change, and what is the 3rd acceleration? Technology. These 3 are fastly progressing, globalization and technology. And आने वाले समय में the biggest challenge for mankind will not be exploitation, but indifference. आपकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Science will make you irrelevant. For example, all these will be recorded lectures and I will no longer be needed to teach an essay class again. Okay, so science will make me irrelevant. Or you see, with automation, robotics.
अभी ये फिलीपींस में इशू चल भी रहा है सर.
Yes, automation, robotics. This labor issue is going through, this labor sector is going through a very radical change. This is known as the 4th generation, 4th industrial revolution, which is the digital revolution. Everything will be done digitally. So man will no longer be exploited. In exploitation also, at least there is a relation. There's a relation of exploitation. There can be nothing more dangerous than being indifferent. Now, those of you who have a relationship with your parents or somebody, does it not annoy you when that person does not reply back or does not fight back or does not say anything to you? Does it annoy you or not?
Yes.
Other people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So correlate it with indifference. Okay. So now this is the issue with science. Any other issue?
So science without conscience is ruin of soil.
Correct. Science without conscience or science, yes, definitely. Yeah, this is a very good model that we will use the topic of other essays as a point. Science without conscience is the ruin of soil. How? Not soil, ruin of soul. You wanted an iPhone 10. Your parents gave you. Next year came iPhone 11. Somebody else gave it to you. Then next year, iPhone 12. Did you ever question, why do you want to go like this? Did you ever question, iPhone 10 से iPhone 12 में जाने में, मतलब सेपिया मोड में सिर्फ फोटो ही खींच सकते हो ना? You will be the same person, whether in sepia or in portrait. and probably your passport size is the most important photo for your preparation, जो UPSC में लगेगा, पीछे उसमें लिखा होता है background ऐसा होना चाहिए. So you can click it with any phone, okay? So this is going to create a problem of what? Material culture will create the problem of what? Environmental exploitation and all the issues: air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, pollution of the upper atmosphere, ozone depletion, acid rain, global warming, climate change, extinction of species. Today we are in the 6th phase of extinction. Species are being extinct for the 6th time on Earth, and this is 1,000 times faster than any other phase of extinction ever happened before. So do you think if species are being extinct at this rate, will humanity survive?
No.
So material culture will lead to environment exploitation. You can write everything here: plastic pollution, जितना कुछ भी पड़ा है environment में, all of those points you can write here.
So can we add cheap labor?
Cheap labor, yes, that in the Noah Harari point, that labor will become indifferent. Not only labor, even relations will become indifferent. You will talk to a bot. I am not feeling well today. Bot will say, "Hi Vikas, what can I do for you?" Right? No chick.
Correct.
So we are actually doing this, right? So relationships are also becoming indifferent. By
More
relationship,
private.
I mean with your parents. So now science is giving a solution known as techno-optimism, what somebody was saying. Science is saying, okay, I am science. I will give you some luxury. That luxury will create some problems. That problem again will be solved by science. This will again be what? So the
Vicious
idea,
cycle.
yes, it will be a vicious cycle. Now science cannot change your mind of being satisfied with an iPhone 11. Okay, science cannot teach you that. So this techno-optimism, that there can be scientific solutions to all our problems, this has so far not worked. इसके लिए you can write a line. Techno-optimism is the belief that science can solve all the ills of science. That science can solve all the ills of science. It is like flooding a well to help a person get out of it. When somebody is falling in the well, you found a scientific solution. इसको पानी से भर देते हैं, तैर के बाहर निकल आना. Okay. Now, before we dwell into the problems of religion, first let us see how science and humanity both have to coexist. How science and religion both have to coexist. So some good points on that. You tell me what are some points on which science and humanity both have to coexist? Instead of science versus humanity, science and not humanity, science and religion. So tell me,
Ethical.
Ethical. Science should learn ethics from religion, or religion should learn
No,
moral
sir.
values from
Science should learn.
Okay, so write a point.
They both bring war.
Sorry?
They both bring war. Science as the nuclear weapon while on the name of religion.
Science. Correct. Science has brought nuclear weapons. Religion has done crusades. But I want to. So you are saying that both of them should destroy humanity together. Okay, that is an interesting point. Science and religion should join hands. Okay. Now that will be a very dangerous thing. Imagine a situation when Al Qaeda has tactical nuclear weapons. Right? That will be very dangerous.
Science can bring discovery, and religion will bring how to use it, like morality, like it will bring the stability.
Science will bring material benefit, religion will bring spiritual benefit. Yeah, you can say science will bring materialism, religion will bring morality. Yeah, you can say. So you can write a point in a debate on the Oxford Club of Atheism. Yeah, Oxford School of Atheism. Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson. Sam Harris is one of the famous atheists. He's written many books also. You can watch their video. It's very interesting. In your free time only. So Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson. They concluded that thinking people, including scientists, have maintained that there is no conflict between science and religion. They operate in different spheres. Science deals with facts and religion deals with values.
So, what did you say after including scientists have maintained?
Scientists have maintained that there is no conflict between religion and science because both operate in different spheres. Science deals with facts, religion deals with values. Second point you can write. In science, we try to find the pearls of facts. Fact का मोती चाहिए हमें. We try to find the pearls of fact. So you can write, in science, a seeker wants to find pearls of fact. Pearl, moti. While in religion, a person wants to become, or a seeker wants to become, a thing of value. So, third point is.
So can you explain the second point?
The second point is a pearl of fact that will have some monetary value, right? $1,000, $2,000. But I will make you a person who will be giving pearls of facts. मतलब अगर पर्ल है कोई मोती को ढूंढने का हमने कोई रास्ता ढूंढ लिया, that this is how we will extract a pearl. But now when you will become a person of value, you will say that this should not be extracted only. Let that creature remain. Let that oyster live. Okay, crudely I'm saying this. The same thing that what people are saying, that religion will bring morality to science. Although the relation between religion and morality is itself very complex. So science is knowing, but religion is becoming, or what you do with that knowledge. What somebody said also, that science will be helping in discovery, while religion will tell us what to do with that discovery. Here you can write, with the knowledge of atom bomb, science gives us the knowledge of atom bomb. You can either become India and use nuclear power for nuclear energy for civil nuclear power. You will try to provide electricity to the houses of the poor. Or you can become Pakistan and you will make tactical nuclear weapons. So with this knowledge of atom bomb, you can do both these things. I'm not saying that it is happening because of Pakistan's religious value. It is a rogue state. They don't have value. Or you can talk about North Korea and South Korea if you don't like India and Pakistan. One will become Kim Jong-un.
वो क्या लिखा हुआ become religion के बाद?
Religion is becoming.
Okay.
Now you can write one or two more points on this. Sir, Vivekanand, Swami Vivekanand, he says it is remarkable that science and religion were not so much in conflict in India. Science and religion were not in conflict in India. In fact, ancient rishis were great mathematicians. And there was never a case of religious persecution of scientists.
Sir, in fact के बाद से repeat करूँगा.
इसके बाद से?
In fact,
ancient rishis were great mathematicians. There was never a case of, आपने सुना होगा that Galileo was punished, Socrates was punished. But कभी ऐसे ancient history में आपने सुना कि such a person was punished for his scientific view by religion? So there was never a case of religious persecution of science in India.
सर ये जो वेदास हैं जैसे ऋग्वेद वगैरह, तो इसमें भी तो कुछ साइंटिफिक चीजें पहले ही मतलब बता दी थी और फिर वो बाद में जाकर के प्रूव हुई थी. जैसे ये सन वाला जो है, like sun is still and earth revolves. ये वाली
Okay,
चीज
see,
हमारे ऋग्वेदा
my knowledge of Vedas is limited to whatever I have read. I have read secondary sources that what they are saying. But see, Indian method, no. We talked about science and not about technology. So we would give science of this stuff. कि मान लो कि अगर we are talking about some scientific event of the past, say even the most ridiculous thing that you can say is, suppose there was a yarn which could fly. So now the science is given, but unless it is followed by technology, it will be hard to believe it, right? And Indians, they focused on science, not so much on technology, because हमारा वो material purpose भी नहीं था ना.
Hello guys, before we start with the discussion, we just want to inform you that we have launched a very special and unique type of program which is called Excel Mains through the previous year's questions. In this program, we are going to cover the entire syllabus of GS paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. The philosophy behind this program is we are going to cover the syllabus not randomly but just by using or referring the previous year's questions themes, and the themes are extracted from the last 40 years of previous year's questions. There will be a live discussion, there will be a answer writing with the mentors, and the second program is the intense answer writing program which is called Samachar Wani Plus, in which there will be a weekly classes on 10 topics which are extremely important from the UPSC mains and prelims point of view. There will be an answer writing, there will be a questions given after each and every class based on those 10 topics. So even if you are a beginner, this is a good opportunity for you to begin with the answer writing. For any further queries, or if you wish to talk with a mentor, if you have any doubts, please drop us a message on the number given below. Thank you.
Anaka has written something. Let me read the chats. Yes. Pallavi, yes. Okay. I've asked to mute. Srishti has submitted. Shiv has submitted. Sakshi will write.
So,
Yes.
yes. सर कुछ आप कह रहे थे?
नहीं. I know you have submitted.
Okay.
Amy Daka has submitted. Harina has submitted. Tripathi ji, you have not submitted.
Yes, sir. Due to the office
work. Okay. Try to submit it today.
Busy
No issues.
Yeah, I will try to.
Okay. Abhishek, have you submitted? I think you have submitted, yes. All these
Yes,
people, Mohit, Monica, Anagha, and who else remain? You have to write on this science essay after today.
Sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure.
चलो हो गया ना ब्रेक ओवर.
Yes, sir.
ओके ठीक है. So now we were seeing how to draw a balance between science and religion. So you can talk also about social reforms in India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. What did he say, Pallavi? What did Raja Ram Mohan say about religion and science? So religion should be reformed in light of science. That was the idea of social reform. This idea of social reform led to improvement in the condition of women. What was the condition of women during that times?
Sati.
Yes, widow remarriage issue. Sati,
Child
girl child,
marriage.
yes. Female infanticide,
Parda system.
parda system, yes. Child marriage and parda system.
5 मिनट से पहले स्टार्ट कर दिया सर.
Everyone said to start. I'm sorry.
ठीक है सर, एक बार रिपीट करना प्लीज.
So I was asking, what was the we were discussing science and religion, right? How can both complement each other? So we have seen in our modern history, in social reforms, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he said religion should be reformed in the light of science, and this improved the condition of women. Women at that time were facing sati, they were facing widow remarriage. I mean, widows, they were not allowed to be remarried. There was female infanticide. Who was the person who worked for sati? Ram Mohan Roy.
Raja Ram Mohan Roy.
Yes. Who worked for widow remarriage? Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar.
Vidyasagar, yes.
Sir, start कर दिया क्या?
You have to ask your classmates.
Okay.
They said,
पाँच मिनट नहीं हुए थे, मैं बराबर 5 मिनट में आ गई थी.
I took the classes permission. Okay, Rishabh. So science versus religion, I am saying that in our ancient times, no, in our modern times, both of them are complementing each other in the form of social religious reform movement. Religion, Raja Ram Mohan Roy says, should be reformed in the light of science. And one good change in society was the improvement in the condition of women. Women that time were facing sati, female infanticide, child marriage, parda system. There was lack of women education. So widow remarriage के लिए ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर. In fact, because of his efforts, government passed the Widow Remarriage Act in 1856 during the time of, who was the Governor General?
No, Canning.
Lord Dalhousie.
Okay, Dalhousie, sir.
Yes. So next point will be, you can talk about the Indian Constitution. What is Article 25 Clause 2? My polity students, if they don't tell, what is 25 Clause 2? Social welfare and reform, and to throw open public places
For all the sections.
Of Hindu character for all sections. So, and Supreme Court has said that secularism is a part of basic feature. So Indian Constitution, while it protects your freedom of conscience to practice, profess and propagate your religion, it has also provided for social reforms in religion. So Article 25 Clause 2, in fact, CGI Deepak Mishra, he quoted constitutional morality instead of religious morality in the Sabrimala case. Okay. Shall I raise this? Yes, no, bolte raha karo bhai.
Yes, sir.
Because I have to cover religion also. और social issues का तो कुछ किया ही नहीं. I think this Sunday, the next essay class, we will be doing social issues. We will be doing women, children, aged population, SC, ST, gender, transgender, such things on Sunday, next class. Anyways, so Amartya Sen, he has written a book, The Argumentative Indian. Please pardon my handwriting. The Argumentative Indian. And he quotes that in India, the value of questioning, this has always been cherished. Even when God came here, like even when Krishna is in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna asked him 1000 questions. Now this, he is saying, "Arey maar yaar, this is like मारने से क्या रखा है, मेरे ही तो माँ बाप हैं." Imagine दूसरी साइड से weapons are coming and he was the charioteer, right? Rathi यही थे ना, he was driving the rath.
Yes, sir.
And
Sorry. Charathi.
Okay, Sarathi, yes. So okay, sorry for my Hindi mistake. Sarathi, and this guy is asking him 1000 questions. So he had to give a speech which is today known as Bhagavad Gita. So the idea of questioning, we will try to question. Indian ethos are that if you are a Hindu, if you are a Muslim, if you are a Sikh, if you are of any faith, the idea of questioning is inbuilt in us. It is inherent in us. That is the idea of Amartya Sen. Now you can also, I'll give notes for.
Bhagavad Gita will not be like problem नहीं होगा इसमें कि कोई एक religion के ऊपर हम किसी एक book का view quote कर रहे हैं.
See, I don't treat it as a book of religion, but see, in my essay, I always wrote good things about all the religions. Because you are from Hinduism, or you are from Islam, or you are a practitioner of Christianity, the examiner should not know this. Okay.
Sir, Bhagavad Gita को वैसे भी नहीं माना जाता कि मतलब वो religious book है, because it's more like कि human life कैसे जीनी चाहिए, the way of living. But
see, all religions try to give a way of living.
Religion से.
Sorry. See, all religions try to give a way of living. See, like even in Islam, they will talk about the 5 pillars of Islam. They will, उसमें से 3 pillar है कि zakat, give alms to poor, do fasting. Fasting, in a way, you can interpret it as that you should take less from nature. You should not be material. You should be opposite of material. Then the third, zakat, fasting, and pilgrimage. Of the 5 pillars of Islam, these are the 3 pillars. So pilgrimage mein, you go to a pilgrim place, you try to get spiritual attainment, you try to understand the difference between this circle of life, etc. So you have to at least write good points of all the religions if you are quoting one religion. Okay. The only idea is that an examiner should never get your bias. Now your bias is your own faith. Sometimes our bias will be like we discussed reservation. So we may have a bias there. Then some political dispensation, we may have a bias there. So an examiner should never be able to guess this. कि आपका पलरा किधर झुक रहा है, he should never be able to know it. Okay, that's the basic idea. So if you write one point, try to write all in all the religions. Like Guru Nanak is saying what? I put this as a quote also one day. What is Guru Nanak's famous quote? Abide purity amidst oceans of impurity. Even if you are in an ocean of impurity, you be pure. Okay. So this is by Guru Nanak. Now I'll give you notes for Nehru ji and Gandhi ji and Ramkrishna, Vivekanand, and you will be getting notes on Dr. Ambedkar, his view on religion. Dr. Ambedkar's view is interesting. He says equality, fraternity, and liberty these are my religion. So he gives a triangle of this. Okay. So this is how you will conclude in an essay. And finally, you can, for this essay, in my opinion, you can also draw that diagram in the conclusion part. There's no issue. Usually I don't recommend diagrams, but here you can make that diagram. In a river, you can draw two people. You can write about this man of religion, man of science, looking inward, looking outward. And you can write plus. This plus will give humanitarianism. Just like WHO has right now given the concept of One Health. Don't be bothered about only human health. Take care of the health of animals, also the health of the environment. So that is the concept of One Health given by WHO after COVID pandemic. Now, give me 15 more minutes to complete religion. Because we have to talk about both benefits and issues of religion. So what is religion? Religion क्या है?
उसमें जो भी किताब होना चाहिए और एक prophet होना चाहिए.
Okay, it should have a book. It should have a prophet. Yes.
If these things are there, it could be considered as a religion.
Okay, so matlab you are only talking that God is an essential component of religion, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It can be termed as a social institution as well.
Yes, it is a social institution. That is also correct. It performs some social functions like marriage, funeral. It performs those social functions.
It brings a set of people.
It is a set of.
Brings a set of people together.
That is true. This definition is what we will write in UPSC. So religion is made of religare. Or religare, etymologically it means to bind together. Now, it talks about binding three things. One person to another. So one person to another, to bind our loose impulses. Matlab, become a moral person. And to bind with a higher reality. Or you can talk about Atma, Paramatma, whatever. So that is the three meanings of religion. From the word religare, to bind together, you can bind one person to another. That means community should be brought together by religion. To bind our loose impulses, that means we should become better human beings. Our loose impulses, like what are the most basic impulses, like food, sleep, etc. So once you control these things, then you can become a better human being. Then the third is to bind with a higher reality. Now this reality may need not be a god also. Like your higher reality may be, for example, for people like Vivekananda, for people like Gandhi, what was the highest reality? Service to mankind, right? So for them, for Gandhiji, truth was God. Okay. So for this exam, we will write this definition of religion. In practice, see, India is a religious country. We breathe, we eat, we sleep religion. But in this exam, we have to write dependent on this.
Sir, can we talk about scientificism here?
Can we talk about
scientificism? Like sir, for the people of science, science is also a religion.
Scienticism we have talked, no?
Yes, we talked. नहीं, मैं कह रहा हूँ सर, यहाँ पे हम लोग कह सकते हैं क्या?
नहीं, that is not the definition of religion. That is just one exception, that science has also become a religion. Okay.
Okay.
So some religions, especially in India, they are more about social and moral transformation, right? Or if you will see, not only some religions, I will say all religions, they give a way of life. You follow this path. If you, for example, Buddhism will, what is the path given by Buddhism?
Middle path.
Pratit samutpad, middle path. Okay. Pratit samutpad, or the middle path. They will say, don't take the extreme position, take the middle position. But the path given is Ashtangik marg, or eightfold path. Or if you can't remember these things, write the 4 noble truths of Buddha. So Buddha was a scientific man. He says there is suffering. Who can deny it? Who can deny the reality of suffering? Then he says, this is the first noble truth. This is known as the truth of dukkha, or dukh. There is suffering. There is a cause. This is known as dukh samudaya. There is a cause for this. So this talks about cause and effect. This is a scientific principle. For every effect, there is a cause. This is what science tries to explain. Then Buddha talks about there is cessation of suffering. This is known as dukh samudaya nirodh. And fourth is there is a path. So very scientifically, he says there is suffering, there is a cause for suffering. If you remove the cause, your suffering will stop. And for that, there is a path. So such type of idea is present in all the religions. This is Pratit Samutpad. Let me write it clearly. You can write this in your ethics also. You have to study this, and you can write in your IR also. Pratit Samutpad. Take the middle path. Can India use hard power or can India use soft power? No, India will use smart power, a mixture of both. Pratit Samutpad. Okay. Or the middle path. Now, Jainism. What is the path given by Jainism? Ethics में तो पढ़ा होगा ना?
5 verbs and 3 guiding principles.
Yes, first is the 3 Ratnas, or 3 jewels. It talks about right faith. You should have faith in your teachers, all of you, at least in this teacher. Right faith, right conduct. You should come on time on class. You should write an essay, Pallavi. This will lead to
right knowledge.
Right knowledge.
It's right knowledge, then conduct, or it's right conduct, then knowledge?
See, that is Indian way is always cyclic. Okay. If your conduct will, अगर आचरण ठीक नहीं होगा, तो अगर knowledge मिल भी गया ना, तो भी हम उसका कुछ बुरा कर लेंगे. Okay. If we are wrong, even if we get good advice, then we'll make something bad out of it, right? So you can start from here also, you can start from here also. Indian concept is always cyclical. That is why you will see कि हमारा conduct पहले सही कराते हैं कहीं पे भी. If you go in yoga also, first they will improve your posture, your breathing, your lifestyle. Ye mat khao, wo mat piyo. They want to improve your conduct.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So first, we have seen what is religion. We have seen some of the values of religion given in some religions. Now, you tell me, what are the challenges because of religion? What challenge does religion bring?
Rigidity.
Rigidity. Okay. What else?
Difficulty in bringing change or reform.
Difficulty in bringing change. Yes, somebody said
Stereotyping.
communalism. Yes, very good. What else?
Conflicts between people for their
Conflict
religion.
between religions. Yes, holier than thou. My religion is better than your religion. Yes.
Supremacy. Yeah.
What else? So,
Does it lack individual freedom?
does it lack?
Individual freedom?
Yes, definitely. You see women's temple entry issue.
Yes.
Women are not allowed to enter temples, so that is it curbs individual freedom. Yes, definitely. So the first challenge that we'll talk about in religion is religious exclusivism. Which says only one religion is true. And all other paths are false. This will lead to conflict. Religions will fight amongst themselves that how can you deny this to me? How can you claim that this is the absolute truth? How can you deny the religious diversity? And so this will lead to the problem of number one, in the social, economic and political sphere, it will lead to, first of all, holy wars. If you see world history, there were crusades or holy wars, right? For example, in the medieval times, there was cross versus crescent. Then Holocaust of Jews. Then in India, recent times, you are seeing killing of rationalists. You can also talk about mob lynching.
Mob lynchings.
Cow vigilantism.
Untouchability, sir.
Yes, untouchability, definitely. Because Dr. Ambedkar says, if you have to write this untouchability point, you can write Dr. Ambedkar's view. He traces the roots of untouchability.
In religion.
Yes, he traces in the caste system. He says because of the caste discrimination, there is untouchability, and the roots of caste system in Brahmanical religion. That is Dr. Ambedkar's view and how he traces untouchability to Brahmanical religion. That is the problem of caste system. Yes.
Religion also instills fear of punishment, guilt.
Yes, you can talk about it. Fear of punishment, fear of guilt, definitely. Third point you'll write is religion is against the idea of a secular state. If religion is becoming very important, it goes against the idea of a secular state, especially religious exclusivism, which says only one religion should exist. Okay.
So insecurity of minorities.
Yes, definitely insecurity of minorities. Wherever the majority religion is dominant, it will bring insecurity of the minorities. We will deal with. See, today I don't have the time. Otherwise, we had to deal with communalism and regionalism in this, but you can write communalism and regionalism. These are all issues created by religion only. Now you'll ask, how is regionalism created by religion? I will explain in the next class in detail, in the next essay class. So communalism and regionalism, and you know, riots are a modern reality in India, religious based riots. So one other challenge that religion has brought today is proselytization or forced religious conversion. This is again a challenge. This creates law and order challenge also. Does conversion not create law and order challenge? Some group will object, some group will fight back, then there will be inter-religious conflicts. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you will see, you can write a line. Religion divides as much as it unites, and it has killed probably more people in the history of mankind than any other ailment.
Killed as many as?
क्या बोला था मैंने?
Religion divides as much as it unites and killed.
It has killed
more people in the history
of humanity than any other ailment, bimari.
सर ये जो पॉइंट्स है इसको हम ऐसे में हाउ वी विल in conflict with science उसको कैसे relate करते हैं?
that अभी हमने वहां पर वो नहीं किया है. We will अभी हम I am just giving you the fodder material for an essay on religion and an essay on science. We will discuss how to use these points only in that essay. Okay. Simple logic is science benefit or religion benefit of science. But there is no rationality, then you will say only my religion is the only true religion, or then or I will claim that untouchability jo hai, it is religiously sanctioned, so I will do untouchability. Now that is an irrational thing to say, that how can you distinguish between two human beings on the basis of how pure or impure their lifestyle is. So we will try to connect, वो connecting paragraphs ही सीखना है हमें ऐसे में, but इसके लिए material है नहीं religion में. That is why I made an exception on this topic. What other problem with religion? Women's rights. Do women have equal inheritance rights? Are personal laws not discriminatory? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So personal laws are discriminatory. Women don't have equal rights.
So, but won't that come under individual rights and?
You can write individual rights also. Yes. फिर 5.
Superstition,
Yes.
mysticism.
Religion, when it is blind faith, becomes superstition. And this is antithetical to development of society. So if you see the history of why women were not allowed in certain temples, so that has a logical purpose in the ancient times. Today that logic does not apply anymore. one of the logics that I know of is that most of these temples in the ancient times, they were built on top of hills, etc., very remote locations, and women were easier prey for animals. But that same logic cannot continue today. So by that logic, you cannot say that now, just because it was happening 1,000 years ago, women should not be denied entry into temples today. Now let's conclude. So there are few quotes that you can write. एक quote हिंदी में है, but उसका English meaning भी बता दूंगा मैं. हद चले सो मानवा. UPPSC में तो उसको लिख ही देना अगर रिलीजन पे आया तो. You will get 10 more marks. बेहद चले सो साध. हद बेहद दो तजे. ताकर मता प्रगाढ़. So meaning is what? हद चले सो मानवा. Ordinary men follow the limited. बेहद चले सो साध. Saints follow the unlimited. But had behad tou taje takar mata pragad, the extraordinary or the deeper minds, they go beyond. This is a quote by. Haan. So should I repeat the Hindi part or the translation?
The translation.
Translation part.
Okay. So the translation is, ordinary men follow the limited. This Kabir has written in Bijak. Ordinary men follow the limited. Had chale so manwa. Behad chale so sad means sadhu or saint. So saint follows the unlimited. The deeper minds go beyond both. So you can write, the aim of any religion should not be to make Buddhists into Christians or Christians into Buddhists. The aim of any religion should not be to make Buddhists into Christians or Christians into Buddhists, but both of them to become better Buddhists and better Christians. This is seen from the life of Valmiki. This is seen from the life of Valmiki, who became a Maharishi, or Saul, who became Saint Paul. This is a quote given by Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, India's first vice president and second president. Religion today requires tolerance. Write the next point. Religion today requires tolerance. And tolerance will come from comparative study of all religions. यहाँ पर एक अच्छा quote है. We have to step ourselves into other fellows' shoes. But this implies, अब यहां तक तो आप सभी को पता था, स्टेप इनटू यही सब सुनते आए बचपन से. कभी मेरी जगह आके सोचो, think from my position. So how this is a good quote? It will become good now. But this implies the capacity to take off one's own shoes. Now is this a good quote?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
जल्दी जल्दी लिखो यार, 2-3 पॉइंट बचे हैं रिलीजन में जो आपको कोट करना है एग्जाम में. All of you know the elephant story of Jainism, right? सबको पता है ना, elephant and 6 blind men.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So this is an elephant. Okay. सूंड थोड़ी लंबी कर देता हूँ यार, हंसो मत. Okay. So now there are 6 blind men, each of them touching some part of the elephant. Okay. Who was laughing? Rishabh, huh?
No, sir.
Okay. नहीं, but it is funny. Yes, I know. So this is,
लग भी तो नहीं रहा ना.
that is true. So this first blind man touched the body of the elephant and said ki this is a wall. Then the other guy touched the tail of the elephant. He concluded this is a rope. Some guy touched the leg. Elephant के 4 पैर होते हैं ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some guy touched the leg and said this is a pillar. Then some guy, they touched the elephant की सूंड को क्या कहते हैं इंग्लिश में? Trunk.
Trunk.
So some guy touched the trunk and said this is a snake. Some guy touched the head of the snake, of the elephant, and said this is a breast. Some guy touched its teeth and said this is ivory. Now this is the status of all the religions of the world. Okay. All of the religions of the world, they touch the same reality in a different way and make different conclusions. You can write a line. This is known as the doctrine of Ekantvad, okay, of Jainism. You don't need to know, but if you want to write it, but you can write these lines. Religions of the world are like the 6 blind men experiencing the same reality differently and drawing up a different conclusion. क्या लिखा ऋषभ? क्या लिखा? And drawing up different conclusions. The basis of all religious conflict is to treat these partial truths as absolute truths. Now next, Ramakrishna Paramhans says, Yathomat Yathomat Tathopat. As many beliefs,
So many parts.
so many paths. Yes. So he says, if you want to reach God, it is up to you whether you want to, if you want to reach the roof, it is up to you whether you want to use a stone stair or a wooden stair, a bamboo stair or a pole or whatever. Okay. So as many beliefs, so many paths. And he says service to man is service to God. Now, Vedant says, Ekam Sat, Vipraha, Bahuda Vadanti. Meaning, truth is one, God is one, sages or people call it by different names. So all of this is helping in religious tolerance. Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. Truth is one, God is one, sages call it by different names.
ये तो बहुधा वदंती का वही हुआ ना कि मार्ग बहुत है.
बहुधा वदंती मतलब बहुत सारे वदंती. वदंती in Sanskrit would mean बोलना, no? Something like that.
Yes, yes. To speak.
कई नामों से बोले जाते हैं एक ही भगवान. Now, the next way how we can reform religion is secularism. When society adopts a rational outlook and state adopts secular policy. So there should not be any politics in religion. So secularism will help. Next, what else?
But sir, Gandhiji see the positive impact of politics in religion.
No, he said there should be religion in politics, but not politics in religion.
Yeah.
So his idea was कि religion का मतलब है you are an ethical person. He talked about Ram Rajya as the concept of a welfare state. So being a man of religion was for him being a man of religiousness. That you follow ahimsa, you follow truth, satya ke liye agrah, satyagrah. So those values he wanted to bring in politics, but he said politics should never be brought in religion. दलाई लामा का भी एक लाइन लिख लो. He says there should be interfaith dialogue. You can also quote history, Ashoka's policy. You can quote yesterday's class. We did this, Akbar's Deen-e-Ilahi and Suleh-Kul. Deen-e-Ilahi. What is Deen-e-Ilahi, Pallavi? Suleh-Kul.
Yeah, nahi pata. Literal meaning.
नहीं literally. It is a religion founded by Akbar. No, it contained the values of best values of all the faith.
Yes.
And I think only 14 people, including Akbar,
joined,
became a follower. So such was the greatness of the man that he was the emperor of Hindustan and he could only bring 14 people. So you can conclude by Vivekanand, Swami Vivekanand's lines at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago.
Because अकबर के टाइम पे तो दिन इलाही नहीं चला था, बट मॉडर्न टाइम्स में अहमदिया तो चल गया ना. इंडिया ने फाउंड किया इसको.
You can say Ahmadiyya sect. Yes. So World Parliament of Religion in Chicago, he began his speech by saying, brothers and sisters of America. So the Indian value is, we see the world as
one family.
One family. Okay. That was, now we could not discuss the essay, how we'll implement this in our essay. But I want all of you now to go today or tomorrow or day after, in the next 2-3 days, write that essay and submit. In the next essay class on Sunday, we'll be dealing with some issues of society related to women, related to other vulnerable sections like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, transgenders, differentially abled and aged population. That will conclude our social issues essay. Okay.
सर इतने सारे पॉइंट्स को अगर एक्सप्लेन कर दिया तो बुक ही छप जाएगी.
इतने सारे पॉइंट्स को अगर
एक्सप्लेन करके और फिर आंसर राइटिंग में लिखा तो बुक छप जाएगी एक में.
बुक छप जाएगी.
कम से कम 8 पेजेस में लिखा है, आगे पीछे एक.
तो यार इसमें फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देयर इज नो मटेरियल इन द मार्केट ऑन रिलीजन. आप कहीं से भी ढूंढ लेना. एक तो मार्केट में अवेलेबल नहीं, और साइंस वाले भी जो है ना, वो साइंस में भी वही लिखा हुआ है, अभी तक वही चल रहा है जो हम 10th क्लास में पढ़ते थे. साइंस इज अ बैड मास्टर बट अ गुड सर्वेंट. अभी तक वही वाला मटेरियल चल रहा है साइंस में. तो आई ट्राइड कि थोड़ा सा कुछ उसमें अलग करें.
Yes, sir. This is the very good thing about this class. Like starting में हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था, like लिखने के लिए.
अब क्या है कि अब रिलीजन, साइंस और ये इस पे
The points are very new and intuitive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Correct. Yes. मतलब अब तो रिलीजन में कोई आपको रोक नहीं सकता ना, कहीं पे भी ऐसे लिखने में कुछ भी मिल जाए।
यस सर, बट ये उसमें बहुत सारा रिवीजन चाहिए इसके लिए भी तो।
हाँ, ट्रू। सी
So,
आई नो ऑल
Vikas,
ऑफ यस।
yes, नहीं कंटिन्यू, then I'll ask.
नो टेल मी।
ये जो टॉपिक था ना, तो टॉपिक में तो ये दिया था।
Hello guys, before we start with the discussion, we just want to inform you that we have launched a very special and unique type of program which is called Excel Mains through the previous year's questions. In this program, we are going to cover the entire syllabus of GS paper 1, 2, 3 and 4. The philosophy behind this program is we are going to cover the syllabus not randomly but just by using or referring the previous year's questions themes, and the themes are extracted from the last 40 years of previous year's questions. There will be a live discussion, there will be a answer writing with the mentors, and the second program is the intense answer writing program which is called Samachar Wani Plus, in which there will be a weekly classes on 10 topics which are extremely important from the UPSC mains and prelims point of view. There will be an answer writing, there will be a questions given after each and every class based on those 10 topics. So even if you are a beginner, this is a good opportunity for you to begin with the answer writing. For any further queries or if you wish to talk with a mentor, if you have any doubts, please drop us a message on the number given below. Thank you.